Hello and welcome to Football League Talk. I'm Bruce Mabb, and on today's show we're discussing all things football within the lower leagues. On today's show I'm joined by Matt Smith and Sam Williams. How are you guys today?
Muy bien. I'm ready for this.
Sam?
I'm alright, thanks mate.
You ready to get into the Football League?
Absolutely.
Well, firstly we'll be discussing the atmosphere in the Football League. What are your guys' thoughts on the atmosphere compared to the Premier League?
I think, generally speaking, it would be a lot better, especially in the Championship with teams like Leeds, for instance, where the fans have stuck through the hard times, so they're more passionate, generally speaking. I think that helps it. I think they get some big grounds as well, so bit of an echo going through.
Yeah, do you think with more big teams coming down, obviously we've had Sunderland, there's not a lot of atmosphere there recently, but then you had, obviously Wolves have gone up now, but that's big stadium, Villa Park, Ellen Road, St Andrews is alright I guess. No, but
Pushing it a bit.
But the good atmospheres are created. Do you reckon that's because of the fan base?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you've been following a team like Leeds, for example, you've seen them in League One, and it's a team you really care about. It's a team you like to, like stand up and sing and shout for. So I think that definitely plays into that factor.
Yeah, Sam.
It's the lower leagues for me is definitely more of a kind of community feel than the Premier League. Although, especially the Championship's getting a lot more similar to the Premier League in terms of sort of corporate stuff around now. So it does take away from it, but it's a lot. It feels like a lot more of a tight knit community in terms of the fan base and that kind of thing. Because you've got less people coming from.
Do you think the fans have a lot more connection to the players in the lower leagues because they can see them outside the ground out after the game? They can, they might be walking around town, but then you think, like, when Zlatan, for instance, was playing for Man United, he's not going to be walking around.
Well, you never know. Walking
around the Trafford Centre, is he? He's not going to Primark, let's be honest.
Oh, not a fan of Trafford Centre.
Yeah, you're right about the fact that it's a lot more kind of close between the fans and the players. There is kind of that divide as soon as you get to the Premier League, but overall the lower leagues are better in terms of the atmosphere. Especially when it's, you consider they're smaller stadiums, so a lot of noise can be produced out of a smaller group of people usually.
Do you think the money, like obviously ticket prices and stuff, do you reckon that makes a big difference? Do you reckon maybe like people who, like, teams come down, when they come down they obviously probably reduce their ticket prices, you're not seeing a higher quality of football. Do you reckon that helps when you can get more people in that maybe previously couldn't access that level of football? Maybe.
I think also though it doesn't really help if you go down a level. You're not going to, like I said, be playing the same sort of opposition. So I think you'd struggle to get more people in for, say, Burton Albion than Chelsea. Yeah. But I think obviously ticket prices are lower though, so that might affect in a positive way. But I can see it being the case. Yeah.
But anyway. Oh, go on, Sam.
I was going to say, ticket prices are a bit of a problem, or just regardless of what division you're in. I think that's something that maybe it's lighter in the Football League, but it's not as cheap as we prefer it to be.
Yeah, the Leeds still charge extortionate prices for the tickets, but I think it's because they know they've got such a loyal fan base that they're going to pay the tickets anyway, aren't they? Birmingham, I guess, it's sort of the same, isn't it?
Somewhat, yeah.
Well, talking of atmosphere, here's a compilation of the most atmospheric moments from the lower leagues. that's why the Football League is known for its atmosphere. Some strange ones in there, weren't there?
Not at all.
That sheep one was a bit weird.
I thought you meant keep right on.
No,
We had a problem if you meant that.
Yeah, that was all right. Anyway, our next topic is called Hot or Not. This section, I guess, will pick a team that have overperformed, and then we'll pick a team that has underperformed. Matt, who do you think's had a good season?
Accrington Stanley.
Oh, League 2 champions?
League 2, yeah.
Champions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you see what they were last season when they came 13th in the league, to even be like a promotion place, I think it's testament to I can't remember who the boss is, but how well he's done this season. And you're considering league goal scorer this season, Billy Key, was it last year or something? He had a break for depression, so see how he's
come out the other end of it,
turned his life around. I think it's a testament how well the team's performed.
Well, there's quite big teams in that league that have underperformed in previous seasons. Everyone's saying this, like Luton, for instance. Coventry are up there again this season. They're saying they're going to have like a standout year. And like Luton were up there for most of it, but Accrington kept plugging away, and everyone was like, "Oh, they'll fall off at some point," but they haven't.
The other incredible thing about Accrington is the budget, because they've always been a club that has been known for having one of the smallest budgets, if not the smallest budget in the Football League, and that they've managed to achieve promotion, playing some decent football.
Yeah,
is incredible.
Yeah, the Accrington as well. They have. I don't know if Matt's laughing, but
I'm glad we missed it next season.
What?
I'm glad we missed it next season.
Oh, you're not going to go to Accrington. The thing is, talk about budgets. Accrington are going to be playing Sunderland next season. Sunderland have players that are on triple the whole wage budget of Accrington. So, do you think it's just been smart, or do you reckon it's just the players playing for the manager, or?
Yeah, it has to be, surely.
You can't. It's the manager.
Yeah, it's not because they've.
It's desire, isn't it? It's desire, not ability.
And I think, Matt, what you mentioned about you said they're top goal scorer, if I'm really saying it, to come back from depression. That's got to bring a brilliant.
Well, undoubtedly, yeah, morale booster.
Brilliant team morale,
and
helping them kick forward to promotion. In fact, they're all essentially a family, all supporting one another.
Well, we've got Accrington. Sam, who do you think's had a standout season?
Championship winners, Wolverhampton Wanderers. A lot was expected of Wolves because they spent a lot of money. Of course, three of the main signings, in fact, four of the main signings, I should say, were all Jorge Mendes clients.
Yeah.
The manager, Espirito Santo, Diego Jota from Atletico Madrid, I should say, who's actually signed on a permanent contract, which is a big coup for them. Ruben Neves, I think it's the youngest Champions League captain ever, and he's moved to the Championship, and Bonatini. I mean, as I said, they were expected big things, but I think they've gone above what was expected. It probably would have been promotion, but they've gone on, dominated the league, and overall, they're looking in really good stead for the Premier League. Honestly, I'm going to be honest, I think they could be a Europa League, a side that achieves Europa League football next season. It is a big shout, but they've got the players. They seem to be playing the right kind of football they want to be playing.
Yeah. I think they will have to make additions, though. I mean, like Connor Cody's not a Europa League.
You look at the George Mendes connection. I think January to try to sign Andre Silva, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I think definitely.
Do you reckon there's too much money there maybe involved for that Wolves team? Because if a player who's playing Champions League football, captained at a Champions League side, is moving to a second, I don't think someone's going to move from the Premier League to the second division of Spain, are they? Let's be honest. Do you reckon there's too much TV money? Or in Wolves' case,
probably
owners'
dirty money in there as well.
Yeah.
It's probably less of too much money, because obviously they need that money if they get promoted to the Premier League, which Wolves have done, to challenge with the Premier League clubs who are getting hundreds of millions from the TV deal. What is too much, at least in my opinion, is Jorge Mendes' influence, because it's obvious. Ruben Neves, Jota, and Espirito Santo would not have moved to Wolves if Jorge Mendes did not have some kind of influence in that club.
Yeah, there's obviously been, I think, the Leeds owner wanted them to be checked out and challenged for it.
There was an investigation, but there's nothing found, which is a bit bad.
Yeah, but
I'll be honest.
I've got no proof.
I'll be honest.
There's something going on.
I don't think if Wolves won the Championship, I don't think it would have complained at all.
No.
I think it's happened this after the.
Well, if Leeds got
Wolves
to the playoffs, he wouldn't have cared either.
Yeah, exactly.
So Matt, who's underperformed this season?
Birmingham City Football Club.
Your beloved.
Oh, my beloved.
What went wrong?
My pain and my love.
What went wrong?
What went right, mate? I mean, start of the season, Harry Redknapp, sure, give him 3 games in the last season to keep us up. Never give him a transfer window. You know, he brought these 13 players in, they haven't gelled particularly well. We got good players in there, but they're just not performing. So sack him, get Lee Cars in, lose 6-1 to Hull. We lost. Oh, we drew to Derby. Actually, was a good point. But then we get Steve Cottrell. Wurzel Gummit. What's he going to do? What's Steve Cottrell going to do in 5 years? What Steve Cottrell's going to do in 5 years? He'll be applying for Dole, and I'm happy about that.
Well, he took Bristol City up.
Yeah.
Kept them up.
Yeah.
And then came in that end of that season with Harry Redknapp. Apparently, he took all the training and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do you reckon maybe if he had help from someone else that he maybe could have done a better job?
No.
No?
No.
Just dreadful.
No. You ever see his post-match interviews?
Yeah, well,
I think that my club did well, but if we hadn't conceded those 2 chances, we might have won that. No, you wouldn't! All right?
Look, Matt,
right.
if you want to take a minute, just calm down.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
Let's move on to the future of
Yeah.
Birmingham. You got Gary Monk now. Do you reckon
Yeah.
the stability's there for you to?
I think, you know, if you get I think realistically in the summer it's going to get loan signings. I don't think we're making a big transfer or breaking any transfer records again. I don't know.
You know, you need
Who?
Nikola Zigic.
Already got him back for time once.
No, true. Didn't really. Why was it like 115 grand a week or something?
Oh,
stupid?
no, like grand a week.
No, but when he.
Oh, when in the Premier League,
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Jesus, Sam, underperformers this season.
You mentioned a little bit earlier, Sunderland.
Yeah.
Oh my word, what happened to them? They got relegated obviously last season from the Premier League, and everyone thought, you know, minimum they'll be in the playoffs because they've got this squad that wasn't good enough for the Premier League, but a few additions might be easy to get them back up, and they have failed massively. Of course, until very late December, they were almost on the cusp of going a year without winning at the Stadium of Light. That's disgraceful for a club that want to try and get promoted to not win at all in the entirety of a year at home is ridiculous. You know, they brought in some players, like if I remember correctly, Browning and Holgate from Everton, and you know they could be good defensive players, but it's just the way that Sunderland have been playing. For some reason, it's not suiting them whatsoever. You've got players like Jack Rodwell, who are on ridiculous wages and are not performing whatsoever.
Yeah, do you reckon they needed to get rid of the John O'Shea's, the Wes Browns?
Deadwood.
Yeah. Do you reckon that? I think
Get rid of Deadwood and bleed in new players.
No, they didn't really move on from last season. It's sort of like it was a continuation
lined all the players up, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think they stay with Didier Ndong, and Lamina Kone was still there. And they brought through something like that. George Honeyman, I think, has had quite a good season.
I used to work with someone who went to school with him.
You once worked with him at school? Was he an alright lad?
Yeah, he's proper thick accent though.
Proper thick accent.
Yeah.
Well, that'd probably help. I don't think Didier Ndong's going to understand a really proper thick Geordie accent. Let's be honest.
And it also shows how far they've fallen. That, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, they're going to be playing in the same league as Accrington Stanley.
Yeah. No offence to Accrington Stanley, but
who were they?
Exactly. But the next season as well, they're also going to be in League One. We talked about getting rid of Deadwood, but they're not opening the upper tier of Stadium Light next season. Do you reckon like the ticket prices will like be reduced massively?
I think they'll be reduced slightly.
They have to be, aren't they?
I mean, they got new ownership, aren't they?
Yeah, true. That's the
former Eastleigh.
Eastleigh, yeah.
Chairman.
And I think he had something involved with Oxford as well.
Yes, he was Bridal Insurance, I believe it was, which sponsored Oxford for a number of years.
Do you reckon maybe that would be their turnaround in fortunes?
Well, this the former chairman of Eastleigh, he helped them get promotion, and he's left the Eastleigh debt-free. Whether he can do it at Sunderland is another matter.
They're in a lot of debt.
They're in a lot of debt, but also in terms of actually on the pitch. You know, there's a lot, as we mentioned previously, there's a lot of debt they need to get rid of. And, I mean, just look at the stadium. You talked about ticket prices. I personally don't think they're going to drop ticket prices. There's 40,000 odd seats in that stadium. What was being focused on a lot as Sunderland was disgraceful performance in the Championship is 18,000 people not turn up to stadium, but 22,000 was still turning up to watch absolutely diabolical football. So that proves that Sunderland fans are loyal as all hell, but that might have an impact. But the fact that they've just slid so far down is ridiculous.
Well, it might be a good thing. We said Wolves. Look at them now. They're going into they obviously got relegated twice in 2 years.
Wayne Hennessy, didn't they?
Yeah,
like the Oval.
they got rid of everyone pretty much. They had Lee Griffiths up front, I think, in League One, and he scored loads. And they started to bring in like Danny Batt started playing well. They brought in like Dominic Iorfa, Courtney Hawes and stuff. I don't think they play much anymore, obviously, because they don't know managers. But they got them back up. Do you reckon like the youth players will be the ones to get them out?
Definitely,
get them out of League One. They had quite good youth.
Yeah,
players. John Henderson came through there.
Quite a lot of youth players this season, haven't they? Got Magia or something in it. Sora.
Again, they're going to have the biggest budget in League One, and absolutely, as much as a lot of Sunderland fans would like them to bring the youth in, they're not going to, because the main target's going to be get up to the Championship, get back up to the Championship, win the league, and to do that, they're going to spend the million or probably a couple of million they've got in the bank on players to bring in and replace all this dead wood. They have got players like Kaziri, I think his name is, who was on a run last season. So the likes of him and Rodwell will definitely be going, because obviously they're on quite big wages.
Yeah.
And they won't want to be staying at Sunderland while they're in League
No one
One.
else playing League One. Anyway, this season we've seen some absolutely brilliant goals. We've managed to narrow them down to our top 5, so let's have a look at them. There's some absolute bangers in there. Any personal favourites?
For me, I think that Lee Evans one,
The second
brilliant, yeah. I think the reason I put that above that Ruben Neves one, cause I don't even think Neves meant to take that touch in that way there. I think he said afterwards he didn't mean to. That Lee Evans was pure technique.
Inside of the foot.
Yeah, brilliant goal.
Try that 100 times. It's never going to happen again.
One
Any
time for
personal
me.
favourite? Well, one time for you, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're alien.
Billy Sharp's was an outstanding bicycle kick.
It's Leeds as well, and they don't really like each other.
It always looks great when the keeper just collapses when the striker's so powerful. But Ruben Neves deserved. I think it was a EFL goal of the season, I believe.
Yeah,
absolutely deserved winner. Just the curve on it's ridiculous.
Any Josh Morrison, Lee Novak, one of your personal favourites? Do you reckon that rebound of him just putting the ball in the net?
Well, I didn't see it, but I can tell you it was a great finish.
Great finish. Anyway, our final topic is about the up-and-coming players in the lower leagues. We've seen Ali, Hart, Stones. Sam, who do you think we could see in the top flight soon?
So I'm going to start with an obvious pick, but he's still incredible. Ryan Sessegnon at Fulham. I watched this kid through the England youth squads, and he's been absolutely incredible. And it's been interesting to see him this season because obviously his natural position is at left back. But this season, he's pushed more forward to a left winger. He scored 15 goals in about 47 games. And it's been an absolutely outstanding season for him. The main thing that's going to slightly concern me about Ryan Sessegnon is he's been linked to quite a few Premier League clubs, like Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United. All these kind of clubs, and even more, have been linked to him. And really, the problem is you've got the small selection, like as you mentioned, Hart, Stones, Ali, that do come up from the lower leagues to then Premier League and just get better and better. But with Ryan Sessegnon at such a young age, I personally think he'd stay at Fulham and keep progressing because, especially if they don't get promoted, stay there, get more football under your belt. Because I've just got this sinking feeling that if he does go to the Premier League, we could be seeing another. God,
Jack Rodwell.
Yeah, pick an endless list of players who have come up from the lower league.
What do you reckon if he joined a lower team in the Premier League, say like a Brighton or Swansea if they're there, or like a Southampton? Do you think maybe that would be better because he'd get game time there?
You're right, he would be getting game time, but the strength of Ryan Sessegnon has always been his technical ability and his speed. He's always been spectacular, as I said, for the England youth sides and Fulham this season. He's always been blistering down that left-hand side. His crosses have always been lethal. And if he's at a kind of low-league Premier League club, he's not going to get that many opportunities to show that. Because obviously he's going to be... Yes,
he'll be playing higher opposition.
Yeah, his defensive work will improve, but it's just keep improving the technical ability, which is the main thing for a player of his potential.
Sam, Matt, any...
Jack Marriott, I think.
What, Peterborough?
Yeah. I think...
is that just because he scored against Villa in the cup?
and Barry Fry at the end.
Oh, Barry Fry dancing.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw him like jumping up in the air.
No, I think Jack Marriott, was he a loan from Ipswich or something last season or season 4, whatever it was. He joined Peterborough start last season and he scored something like 27 goals, a lot of goals.
Highest goal scorer in the whole of the EFL.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You know, relative unknown, 23 or something. And then what annoys me is before he joined Peterborough, Birmingham sold him for $4 million.
Yeah, but would he want to play for Steve Cottrell?
I was Harry Redknapp at the time.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I'd want to play for Harry Redknapp either. Might be quite funny though.
And they showed Peter on a wingy.
Yeah, Peter on a wingy. Yeah, show up in the car park. Well, Jack Marriott, you think Peterborough haven't even had that good a season?
No.
And he's still banged in 27 goals, 26 goals.
Brilliant.
What do you reckon if he was at maybe like a top end? Say if he's at Wigan or Blackburn, do you reckon he could have got even more?
Yeah, I think he probably could have, to be fair. When you quite a lot of depth in those sort of squads, you know, Wigan, like Max Power, for instance. I think there would have been more opportunities for him to score just from, I think, that sort of natural poacher sort of instinct where he got himself in those positions. I think if he had better quality teammates, could have naturally got into those sort of positions easier.
You talk about instinct. Do you reckon that's what will push him onto like the top flight?
Probably, yeah.
Natural goal scorer.
Yeah, I think he probably will end up in the top flight in a few years, but I think probably go to the Championship first.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll go straight to the Premier League.
You said about Ryan Sessegnon. Obviously, the team's getting promoted. They have younger players with them, but they've got players that have come down, like Matt Targett's on loan at Fulham. Do you reckon the loan system from the Premier League down to the Championship is helpful for young players, or do you reckon it hinders their progress?
Depends if they're interested. You
know, like Jeremy Boga.
Yeah, if your name's Jeremy Boga, you're not interested in playing for Birmingham City, f*** off. All right, f*** off.
Sorry, apologies for Matt's language. But anyway, yeah, so Jeremy Boga, go on.
I think one of the reasons why he joined Birmingham was he said he wanted to work a lot on his defensive play, and yeah, he's had to do a lot of that this season when he's been asked. When he's been asked.
Yeah.
I think it can be quite helpful because you get players sort of a high enough level that's not the Premier League.
Yeah. You say Jeremy Boga obviously on loan from Chelsea. Chelsea loan, how many players out of season? It's ridiculous. Do you reckon that's too much? Like that's like abusing. They're signing players and then just sort of like going, oh, we'll send you out there. If you do well enough, we might give you a chance, but you're probably going to play against Wickham in a pre-season friendly, and then you might play against, in the Checkatrade Trophy against Lincoln. It's not exactly like they say, oh, I'm signing for Chelsea. Yeah, but you're going to be playing Accrington Stanley on a wet Tuesday night at the Wham Stadium. It's not.
Well, it kind of varies. So when you talk about the loan system, with some players, it can definitely help, especially in the lower English leagues. It can help them improve their physical strength because in the lower leagues, unlike in the Premier League, it's obviously quite a physical, rough league, physical, tough play. So an example that sticks out to me is someone like Bersant Salina, only from Manchester City to Ipswich. He's been scoring some incredible goals and also playing really well. And that the loan has really helped him, and to the extent where there's talk of him potentially getting some sporadic appearances for Pep Guardiola's side next season. When you talk about Chelsea's loan system, I agree that they buy too many young players. Some examples that stick out in my mind are the likes of Pantic and Nathan, I think it's Serbian and Brazilians. They were brought in, loaned out, and have been loaned out ever since. There's guys like Lucas Pearson, who have been loaned out just forever. He's having a really good season at Fulham, and that potentially may be a good sign for the loan system. But the fact that he's been on the books of Chelsea for such a long time, and there's no real sign that he's actually going to get games.
Yeah,
that's definitely the problem with stockpiling players.
Do you think as well, like the Chelsea, they're loaning all these players up, and they're signing players for the first team, and those players never get the chance to. So do you think maybe there should be a ban on loaning that many players?
Potentially. I think it's just abuse of the system, putting players in a sort of position that wouldn't want to be in a career. Look at Lucas Pearson. I think he probably could. Eintracht Frankfurt he played for before, like Reading. Speaking of Reading, do you see what someone asked Lucas Pearson what he thinks of Reading, how much he hates on a scale of 1 to 10, he's 11?
That talk about the loan system, he didn't enjoy his loan spell at Reading.
Yeah.
Obviously the fans abused him a bit. But do you reckon it gives bad experiences for
maybe.
stuff like that if he hates them?
Get out the system, maybe.
Hates them 11 from a scale of 1 to 10. Do you reckon they need to be more helpful with the players and talk about, right, you're going to this place, do you want to go to... Because I feel like Chelsea don't really... They're saying well, you're going out on loan, so see you later. So do you reckon maybe that Chelsea should lower it down, or do you reckon they should wait until there's a ban on it? Well, to be fair, they're making their money from it.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's the flip side. But I reckon what definitely a lot more clubs should do is what some Dutch clubs do. Now, what Dutch clubs do is they send players out on loan. And in fact, some Spanish clubs and even 1 or 2 English clubs do this. They send the players out on loan to a club that they have an affiliation with, so they can tailor the training and the type of play they want to that club and to those players. So a good example is I think it's NEC Breda, I believe it is. They are loaned quite a few Man City players. And so Bertrand Salina, Ashley Smith-Brown, all those players went there, and they were given specific training setups by Man City, and NEC Breda were told, give these players these training regimes along with whatever you want to do for your playing style. And that definitely needs to be implemented probably in a lot more clubs. And it's something that affects a lot of players that are being loaned from the Championship down to League 1 or League 2, that it is a step down, and there is differences, I should say, between League 1, League 2, etc.
Sorry.
But surely what should be done is more tailoring. And the argument will be, well, you're interrupting a club's flow in their training. Yeah. But if it's to the benefit of your players going forward, do it.
Yeah. Thank you for that discussion, guys. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you, Sam and Matt, for joining me tonight. I've been Bruce Mabin. See you later.